All right, we are live with the Common Grounds podcast and Meet Your Coffee Roaster. Tonight, we're going to go back to season one. One of our favorite guests from season one, Will Alonzo. He's of Liam and Ian Coffee Roasters out of Salt Lake City, Utah, or the SLC area, I should say. Amazing small batch coffee roaster. And we're going to talk to him about the ins and outs of what it takes to be a small batch coffee roaster, transitioning from hobby roasting and getting into, selling commercially, selling on his own website, selling wholesale, and doing all the amazing stuff that he's doing currently and plans to do in the future. Will's an awesome guest. We were supposed to have this show a couple weeks ago, but there was a hurricane and we lost power. So this is a redo of that show. Thanks for joining in. If it's your first time listening, go ahead and go over to Apple iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Let us know how you like the show. If you're watching on YouTube for the first time, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we go live. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on my personal feed, I'm not going to be able to see your comments. So if you want to comment, you got to go over to the Facebook page of Roasters Marketplace or the Common Grounds podcast to comment for us to see you. And if you're watching right now, let us know where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in, and we are going to roll this show off with some Dom Coors. Good evening, hey. Will. How are you tonight?
Good. I love that intro, man.
He does a really good job. He actually just welcomed to this world he's got a baby boy, man. Like 3 weeks ago. But I love some Dom Coors music, man. It's an awesome song to kick off the show too. And if you're listening to the podcast, I put the whole song now at the end of the music, so you can check it out. So tell us a little bit about Will, for those listeners that didn't tune in a few months ago when you were first on the show. Tell us about your background a little bit and how you got into specialty coffee.
Well, I've been drinking coffee all my life, but I got really into drinking a lot of coffee when I was in college. I went to college for civil engineering. And, for me, it was as strong as it can be, and a lot of sugar, milk, whatever I put in there. I was just looking to stay away. Then I moved here to Salt Lake City, and it was like the same vibe. And but then one time I went to this coffee shop, and this barista gave me third wave coffee. I think it was it's got to be an Ethiopian, because it was tasting like blueberry, so that's got to be an Ethiopian. And it blew my mind. I was like, how is this possible? How is this is not flavored coffee? How is this tasting like it's so good? I didn't even have to put sugar in it. That blew my mind, and I started my journey into coffee. So I started, I got my V60 espresso machine. I got into all those stuff. You know how we do. And then geek. At the end, I'm a geek. What can I say? I saw one time a graph of roasting software, and that caught my eyes. Like, oh man, engineer. I like graph, math, physics. I fell in love with it. So I got into roasting my own coffee, and then I said, well, you know what? Actually, not be humble, but the coffee I roast is better than what I was used to, buying in the store, supermarket, or whatever. And actually, any roaster, the local roaster that's roasting good coffee, quality coffee, it's gonna be way better than the coffee at the store, at the supermarket. So So I said, well, let's try this. Why not? And here I am. Then I think when you started this project, I saw your Instagram account, and that's why we got in contact, and
and
here I am, man. I
and
love it.
and the rest is history. And
Yeah,
we've been supplying. We always joke we've got one. If Lauren is watching,
yeah. Hey,
Lauren,
hi. Thanks.
yeah, she is probably one of my biggest customers and one of your biggest customers on my website.
Yeah,
She orders, oh, what, six bags a
yeah.
month plus some. She absolutely loves your coffee, and sometimes she'll message me on on Facebook and to say, Chris, there's only 4 bags. I need 5. Like, okay,
Yeah,
uh,
don't worry. We got you.
we got
Whatever
you.
you need, we
We
have
got you. We got you.
it.
We take care of her. She's an
Yeah,
awesome customer, and that's one of the things that I really like about the level that we're working at is that customer contact, and we can talk about that first, about
yeah,
how it's so important to use that ability to market yourself. So, since the last time we talked, are you still in the cafe? Is the cafe still kicking it?
yeah.
Did they make it through?
Yeah, they make it through. It's slower, especially with all the state regulations and with this pandemic, right? But they're doing good. They're they're holding there. Hmm.
And so, how does that relationship work between you and the cafe? I don't want like prices or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
how
It,
did you first approach them as saying, "Hey, I roast coffee"? What was that like?
well, um, actually, I was working with the SBDC. I'm sorry, SBDC. Which, for those who doesn't know, the SBA has a internal program called SBDC, and they're usually located in colleges. And what they are is just consultants that they work for free. And if you want to build a business, they teach you what steps you need to take to make it real, right? So he said, you need to talk to one of those people that has a food truck, because it seems like they can show you how to get into the business. I mean, you're not going to be cooking food; you're going to be roasting coffee, but it's going to be about the same, regulations and inspections that you guys have to do. Okay, so that was a good idea. So I knew that my wife likes the food from one of the food trucks, it's a Puerto Rican uh, food uh, truck, and it's called Papito Moles, and they're amazing. They great. They cook amazing food. So I sent them a message through Facebook, and he was very open. Like, yeah, let's get together for coffee, and I will tell you what to do. And man, it's impressive how people are willing to help you, especially business owners. I don't know, people are like open to help each other. And yeah, he told me what to do, what was his experience, what he's focused on at the beginning, and all that. And yeah, I mean, we're friends. I mean, whatever he needs. Sometimes he does these activities at the restaurant, and I take my espresso machine. Hey, I'll brew the coffee for you. Don't worry. I'll take care of the coffee side in the restaurant, and I don't even charge him. He's my friend. Period. So we develop a very very good relationship, and whatever he needs, I'm there for them. I lost your audio. I can hear you. Yeah, check your mic.
Yep,
There you go.
I was sneezing off camera there,
Oh,
so
okay,
I muted myself.
okay.
So, is there anywhere else you're carried out locally except for the cafe?
No, that is that restaurant and my personal sales, and I was going to start, uh, you know, going to other businesses, bakeries and stuff, but the pandemic came. So
Yeah.
that was a hard one because I had a already landed two marketplaces, one here in my city and another farmers market, 2 cities down uh, from me, and that with this pandemic, I couldn't do it. So it was hard.
How are the regulations currently there in Utah?
Well, you can open certain amount of hours if you are gonna work more hours, like 8 or something. You have to take a break between all those hours to make sure everything is clean and decontaminated and all that. Uh, the mask, eh, the same. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
But here in Utah, we have been getting hit hard, especially now. It's like the coming back again.
Yeah.
Well, as people go out, but at least here, and this is what I have seen. Everybody's like wearing their mask, keeping their distance, socially distancing very well, and everybody seems like they're pretty good about it.
We've got a couple people tuned in tonight there, and I'm going to give some shout outs here. We got Donnie from uh, Project Buna. He's tuning in from Washington, D.C. We got
Oh,
Justin
nice.
down in Pensacola. And then we got Jose from Third Day Coffee, Seguin, watching right now. They're tuned in live on YouTube or Facebook. So we really appreciate people watching. If y'all got any questions for me or Wilfredo, just go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll get to them in a few minutes after you put them up there. But you know, when you started engaging, when everything kind of started back opening back up.
Hmm.
Well, let's back it up. I'm sorry. So over the course of the pandemic, during the
Hmm.
shutdown, I know we were focused on online sales through Roasters Marketplace.
Yeah.
What did you do personally to drive traffic to your coffee over? What have you been doing?
Just Instagram hashtags. They work great, and you have to be. At least that's my mindset. You have to be great to each of your customers, and they will, if they like it, they will order more. They will talk to their friends. That's how it is. That's how it is. So that's my whole focus and trying to just hashtags and Instagram. Hashtag and Instagram.
Yeah, I've got somebody trying to sneak in my office here.
Oh,
She's
really?
she's covered up with the house coat and in the floor. She's trying to make her nightly appearance, but mom's got her now.
Okay.
So when you do the hashtags, let's
Uh-huh.
let's talk let's talk about that a little bit because that's
Yeah,
where
sure.
where I found you. You've got a pretty good following on Instagram. Do you continually use the same hashtags over and over? Are you changing one up every now and then? Do you have a strategy for your hashtags?
I have some basic ones, and then I add depending on the coffee, depending on the day, depending on what I'm trying to tell people. If I have like the other day, I posted something from a small business owner over here, small bagel, not bagel, I'm sorry, waffle company. I love their their waffles are amazing, and so I put like coffee and waffles or Belgian waffles and with coffee or those type of hashtags, and I always try to hit the those that has like 3,000 mentions or something like that. You know how you can see the
Yeah,
number
yeah,
of how many times that hashtag has been used. So if I try to reach to the ones that have millions, I mean my post has to make a lot of noise to be able to make it out there. But those like 1,000, 3,000, 500, it will be easier just to stand out. That's what I basically try to do. And as as we grow, when then I can increase those numbers and go after those hashtags that have a lot of views.
So I posted your Instagram account up in the chat for everybody that's watching, so they can go and follow you on Instagram. Really good
Oh
feed.
yeah, thanks.
Really good free feed that you've got going. Do you ever? Are you always tagging your location? Are you always saying
Yes,
SLC or hitting your town? Or
yes, yes. I always tag the location. I tag other people. I tag Grocer Marketplace, of course, and yeah, and that's how you do it. And basically, have fun when you're doing hashtags and you're doing that marketing. Be yourself. Don't try to oversell. Don't just be genuine, and you know make relationships. It's great to know people.
how much traffic do you typically see on your website? If you don't mind me asking, what does that look like? Do you keep track of it?
Not really. I'm sometimes I go down there. That's one thing I need to get better at. Maybe getting better at understanding that and putting some goals, I guess. But yeah, that's one thing I need to get better. That's for sure.
Because so coffee. Let's set everybody straight here. Coffee
Hmm.
is not your primary means of survival, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm working part time towards building something to make it a full time.
Because you're a civic engineer, right?
I'm well, I'm
So
a civil engineer, but I got into the medical devices manufacturing business, and that's what I basically do. Actually, we're building the company that I work for. We're making the COVID test, the PCR COVID test.
oh
So
well,
yeah, it's been really interesting.
busy,
Yeah,
busy. It's weird how different things have become very successful over the different types. E-commerce for one is has gained so much. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were talking about how only really 10 to 15% of the population was continually buying stuff e-commerce wise, like all the time, doing most of their shopping. And now that 10 to 15% now looks like 25% of
yeah,
everybody is purchasing something every day or every week via
yeah,
e-commerce. And that's a huge shift to what we saw, a year ago or 2 years ago. Or I've been ordering stuff from Amazon since it was just books. You
yeah,
know,
mhm,
my Amazon, you can go back 15 years on my Amazon
yeah,
history and look at that stuff. And so that it's an interesting environment that we're definitely getting into with the e-commerce and due to COVID. And it's a definitely something that we talked about websites a few days ago, texted back and forth about them. And currently, what platform are you on right now?
the the store, you mean?
Yeah,
The that's oh my god.
Square. Was it Square?
No. It's Shopify.
Shopify. Okay,
Yeah,
that's an excellent e-commerce platform. They
yeah,
do. It's a fantastic.
yeah. They have very good templates, and the one I chose, people really like it because it's like scrolls
Yeah.
automatically, and people say, I don't have to scroll to the side; I can see everything. So it was
Look,
pretty
it's
nice.
the average American is scrolling the height of the Statue of Liberty every day on their phone with their phone.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Is that crazy or what? Donnie from Project Buna says we have had approximately 300% increase in e-commerce since during COVID-19
Nice.
with his website, which is phenomenal. Um, when you're looking at, so let's go back into the roasting a little bit. How many days a week are you roasting right now?
I'm roasting one or two.
Okay,
Depends on the orders.
depends on the orders.
Because
And
yeah, I have been trying to roast the day before I'm shipping. So I'm trying to, so the customer can get their coffee like 2, 3 days of roast, which is perfect because you have to let the coffee rest
Right.
to degas. So yeah.
As long as USPS uh, agrees with us in the shipping times, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had some coffee come from Kansas last week, and it was like I overnighted it. I ordered it on Monday, and on Wednesday I had it. I was like, hold on, something's not right here. But I mean, it was just
Yeah.
it just went south. It didn't take it very long.
Yeah.
Uh, and have you had any bad luck with shipments?
No, I haven't had any lost packages, but I do actually. The last order, uh, the USPS never scanned the package, so we didn't know if it was lost or what. Yeah, so it was weird because I mean, from Utah to New York, I mean, they have to scan that package
I,
a couple of times. I'm
I
guessing.
I'm not for sure how that works on the back end, and I
Yeah.
see it, with my other job. I see that, you know, we might drop off 150 packages, and then 60 of them didn't get scanned in, but they make it, and so you have to tell a customer, just believe, just cross your
Yeah.
fingers,
Yeah.
just
We did
believe
send
it's
it. Please trust
coming,
me.
it's coming, and
Yeah.
we'll take care of you. But
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
it does happen. When you're planning your roast day and you're shipping like that,
Uh-huh.
what's your primary, like, walk me through your process, because this is one of the things I see a lot of times on the roaster forums is they talk about, uh, how to keep up with your orders, and how do you keep up with shipping, and how do you keep your orders right. So what's your physical process that you like to do?
Well, when if I have a few orders that hey, this is gonna take me hours to roast, so I try to roast everything in one day. But if I have a few orders here and there, I just try to do it as quick as possible, and then have it ready next day. That way, I don't get too many orders at once.
What are you what are
Waiting
you
for me.
roasting on right now?
I'm roasting on a Aillio Bullet R1.
Okay.
That's like a 1 kilo roaster, and it's working great for me.
I need to get you and uh, uh, Dutch Hendrick from Rubes. Y'all both use the bullet, and y'all both
Yeah,
put
yeah,
out
I know, yeah,
fantastic coffee. And those things are super popular and super hard to get a hold of, apparently. Uh,
yeah,
and so I'm definitely going to hashtag that in the video tags and get some views from that. It's an awesome little thing. And
yeah,
I actually have another buddy that bought one because he's like, oh, I'm interested in coffee roasting. I'm like, okay, go for it.
mm, yeah,
So you can do 1 kilo, so can you get two 12-ounce bags out of that, or you
yeah, yeah. That's what I shoot for.
okay? And typically, are you tracking your roast pile? What do you track your roast profiles with?
With the Aillio software, yeah,
Okay.
it's really friendly user friendly, I should say, and it's great. It's like basic, easy to use. Uh, when I hit the profile I want, it's really easy to just click replay and just watch that everything is going the way you want. It's so easy that yeah, I'm not using anything else.
That's awesome. How long
Yeah.
have you had this one?
Uh, wow, it's gonna be 2 years. It's yeah, in January it will be 2 years.
So one of the things that you do differently than most of my other roasters, you buy one. Are you buying a 60 or 70 kilo bag right now?
50, 50
50.
or 65, 65 pounds.
Okay.
65 pounds. Yeah.
65 pounds. And so you roast that coffee
Hmm.
to three different profiles. You
Yeah.
roast it to a light, and a medium, and a dark.
Yeah.
Uh, fantastic coffee. But how do you go about determining where you're going to start that at? And how do you determine what bag, because for you, I mean, your choice, it's not like, well, this doesn't turn out, I can't, you're that's your roast. That's what your coffee is going to be until you go through it. So how do you
Yeah.
determine, what's your process of determining that coffee, that next choice for you?
Well, I order samples. I never buy. I heard this from someone that's been years roasting coffee, and he said never buy a bag of coffee without sampling first. And it's true. I have bought some samples that when I see it, it's like wow. I find so many defects that this is not specialty coffee. Period. Uh, and then I try and whatever I feel like I like. Uh, I like the acidity or the notes, everything else. I say, okay, let me go with this one. Yeah, this coffee Colombian. I was actually my first offering was a Colombian coffee, and so I said, oh, let me buy another Colombian. Let's see how it goes. So I went after that. I sampled a few, and I chose that one I'm offering now. It's really really good coffee.
Donnie's got a question for you. I
Yeah.
know the answer, but I'm going to let you answer it. So I'm going to put it up here on the screen for everybody to see, and I'll read it out for
hmm
our listeners. Donnie says, "Do you offer a multi-pack with all three roast levels, and do customers like the variety of and levels of a single coffee?"
Yes, I do. I have a sample trio where I just sell the three different, the light, the medium, and the dark. And I have people that really like uh, that offer because they get tired of like drinking dark all the time or medium. So with that, they like it. They seem to have a fun brewing their coffee, and they also always they say, I cannot believe that is the same coffee. It tastes so much different across all the roast levels. I cannot believe it. It's like yeah, so now they get to learn. Okay, now I know what I like, the medium, or no, I'm a light roasted person. I like light roasted better now. So yeah,
The
it's been
the
fun.
the Papua New Guinea that you had prior to the Colombian, I got the samples of that, and
Yeah,
that was such a distinct change in between the light
yeah,
roasted, which was still, I would say it was a darker light roast, if that makes any
yeah.
sense. It was
Mhm.
closer to uh, uh, maybe a city, like a light side of city roast, if
Mhm.
I'm getting it right.
Yeah,
But most of your
like a city plus
yeah, and it
touching
was
the full
good.
city. Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it it was good, and then the light and the medium, there was very very little difference in the coloration, but that
yeah.
medium was a little bit sweeter, and that dark, I'm not a big dark fan any longer, but that dark one really really was good. So you definitely
Yeah,
did a good job capturing those, and it is uh, I like to see that trio go out to people as an experiment, because
yes.
it's a good way for somebody who's not necessarily really into coffee roasting or has never
Mhm.
profiled a roast to see the difference in characteristics of the beans, and
Yeah,
why that is so important to uh, a coffee drinker or a coffee roaster, is the differences in those nuances. And you know what, just a few degrees make a huge difference over the roast
yeah.
profile, right?
And more the time than the degrees, but yet, yeah, definitely makes a huge difference. This one, I roasted. I was just playing with the roast, and I roasted really light, very very light, and it was like drinking lemon juice. The acidity was like popping. It's like wow, I cannot believe that this coffee. But the dark one is so strong.
Yeah.
It's a very high altitude grown coffee, so it's so dense that the dark roast is like super strong. So it's amazing to see how those two sides of the coin. Just like, wow, I cannot believe this is the same coffee. That's what I like. I enjoy it. I don't get bored.
Do you ever recommend, um, like do you ever offer brew recipes or brew recommendations to your coffee drinker, to your coffee buyers, specifically for that roast level? Do you say, hey, you know what, this is, this would make a fantastic pour over? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, sometimes they ask me, or sometimes I ask them, hey, how do you brew this? So if they say, oh, I have one of those cheap coffee coffee brewers, like a Black and Decker coffee brewer. So I say, well, definitely grind finer so you can extract whatever you can, because the temperature doesn't get to
Oh yeah.
where it needs to be, especially if you're brewing light. You need to grind very fine. Um, but yeah, I try to help them with whatever they when they ask me or whatever they need. Yeah.
Donnie's got. I'm just gonna make Donnie a co-host one of these days. I'm just gonna bring Donnie on the show.
Good, nice.
Donnie's got me. We're just gonna sit here and
So
drink whiskey and talk coffee. He said, "Who is your preferred importing partner? Do you contract via spot offer listings?"
no, I don't contract so far. No, but I have been buying from genuine origins. I have found that they have good prices, and the quality of the coffee is good. Everything that I have sampled from them, it's been good. That's all I have to say. They have a great business. So far, that's the one I have to stick to, um,
They've got a
because of that.
they've got a pretty good farmer relationship, I believe, too, as well.
Yes, yeah,
Do you ever? So originally, since you're originally from Puerto Rico, right?
yeah,
And
yes,
Dominican Republic, you grew up there a little bit too,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Does Puerto Rico have any coffee? Do they?
yeah, yeah. They have very good coffee. Um, and but I have been trying to buy from the island, but it's been really hard with the hurricane. They have suffered a lot, and but I haven't stopped trying to get something from the island. Yeah, it's just like Dominican Republic. They consume like 98% of their coffee is consumed
Right,
locally, so it's really hard to get something
right. And
from the island.
that's interesting compared to some of the countries in South America where they don't actually consume their coffee. They consume coffee that's imported back into their country because it's cheaper because they can't afford their own coffee. Did you
That's
did you know? I mean,
that's gotta be that's gotta be some type of government rules or something because it doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't
it's
make sense.
I know Colombia, I believe from some of the stuff I've read is one of those
Hmm.
countries where, most most of the stuff they're drinking is instant unless they're drinking uh, something that they did grow locally. But it's an
Yeah,
interesting coffee importation is a weird business
I
for
think
sure.
what I have, at least I have a couple of Instagram contacts and Facebook from Colombia, and what I my take is that there's some type of regulations where that the coffee farmers need to adhere to, and how to the quality and all that. And but with the third wave going, the all these internet connections and all that, Instagram, Facebook, I see more and more local baristas that are offering their own coffee. So you get to see the people who grew who work on their coffee. They're actually tasting their coffee. So yeah, I think this has been great, and also I have been seeing a lot farmers exporting their coffee directly. They don't go through an importer anymore or an exporter on their side.
Yeah, and
So the internet has been great. I mean, for consumers has been great.
yeah, it's definitely opened up a lot of doors. I mean, I can pick up my phone and text Abigail at Chickabee right now in
Yeah,
Guatemala, and
and
typically get coffee, in if I'm wanting it green or roasted, I just have to kind of get it in off of what their ship schedule is. But typically they ship every week, and it's here in 4 days for UPS. Uh,
Isn't that amazing?
yeah, from Guatemala, and then there's other importers, and I've all I do is talk to coffee people all the time,
Yeah,
and it's really interesting to see the different relationships that there are out there, and that dynamic, that change
yeah,
is going to get better coffee to us as the coffee drinker and you as the coffee roaster, as long as we can keep these relationships growing and building. We've got a question from Justin White, and I'll see if you can answer it or I'll be asking it. It says, a multi-origin blend, does it come from a specific region, or is it a blend from different areas of the world? I guess it's left up to the roaster. Thanks.
Oh, well, it depends, because if we're talking about origin, the region, uh, then it will be a blend of the region's coffee. But if we're talking about a blend of different countries, then that's another thing, right? So it depends on what they're saying that a blend of the region is. Yeah, I think what was it? I know I knew I got a coffee that actually the Papua New Guinea. It was a blend of it was the same region, different farm, and of course different type of beans, but it was a very good representation of what a PNG is. It
Right.
was like all the notes, the classic notes of the PNG, they were there. So I like that. I like that type of blend. And then sometimes you taste a micro lot that they taste amazing, and you want to get that because you never know if you will never try that again, because
It,
that's how
it,
micro roasts
it might
are.
not it might not ever you might
Yeah,
never get that again for
yeah.
that combination of
Who
water
knows?
and
Maybe we'll get better, but maybe don't. Depends.
yeah, and I'll throw in some on that question that Justin asked. I think the biggest the biggest area you'll ever see called a single origin is a country,
Yeah,
and typically a single origin will be at minimum regional, or not at max. Most of them are like, we've this 40,000 pounds is from 50 farms
yeah,
in this area, or depending on where you're sourcing that coffee from. If I go and source the coffee from Ethiopia, then the chances of all that being from one farm are next to zero.
yeah.
It's
Unless it's a
probably
micro or something like that.
yeah, and it's you get a 50-pound bag and that's it from that one farm. Well, that's
Yeah,
because that cooperative, they might have 300 farmers that are all bringing their harvest into one location,
yeah,
milling it, bagging it, and sending it. And so
yeah,
a multi-origin blend would typically come from multiple countries or multiple. I would say multiple countries, at least on Roasters Marketplace. If
yeah,
you say it comes from New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, the Ethiopia and Colombia, it's a
yeah.
multi-origin
Multiple origin. Yeah,
for sure. If it's a regional, it's probably going to still be marked as a single origin
yeah.
by being, hey, it's from Colombia, it's a single origin.
Hmm.
But then you get down into the micro lots, like you said,
And that's a
and
different game.
I think I've got
Actually,
let's see,
the last Nicaragua I offered,
yeah,
that one I fell in love with that one because it came from just one farm. It went to the mill, and from the mill to the exporter, and then to me. So it was like, I mean, the chain was like three steps. That's it. And that one was excellent. The quality was very good, and it's nice to see like the flavor. I mean, if you guys out there, whoever is watching, go order some micro lots and then order a blend or a regional or something. You will see what I'm talking about. The flavors are unique. You know, they're really unique. It's
And
an experience.
I would say, because I did this afternoon, in fact, I would say that the micro lot is clearer. Like the
Yes, the
flavors are
flavors.
more
Yes,
clear. It's not like, oh, I taste this, and this. You're like,
yeah,
wow, I can really pick up this flavor note, or this
yeah,
is really clean. There's not a there's not a hodgepodge of it.
yeah, exactly. But then, of course, humans at the end, you get tired of that and say, no, I want something really nice blend or everything. I want more complexity. I want more, and then you go back to the blends that I always love, especially in espresso blends. I love espresso blends.
I just finished off of a dark espresso blend. I don't have an espresso machine yet, but it was such a buttery, and that was I can only imagine how good of a crema that would produce because it was just buttery and oily, and you had a really good mouthfeel and really
Nice.
smooth, and it was a really good cup of coffee to have in the morning. It was really good. Justin says thanks, very cool. Thanks for the info. Coffee lover, just a noob on technique and processes, but that's what we're here for. We're here for education because
Yes, that's
if
right.
if you know what's in your cup and the work that goes into it,
Mhm.
uh, it's a lot nicer, I think, to be able to sit
Yes,
there and enjoy something that you know who roasted it, you know where it came from, you know the farmer, you know
yeah.
it's definitely a cool process. So what's on the horizon for you, uh, for Liam and
Well,
Ian? Where are you headed next?
well, I'm trying to get out there, get more businesses, and once this whole pandemic, gets better, going to the farmers market, just getting out there, and talking with more people and letting them know that hey, you need to try a local roaster because the difference is amazing. You will never get something like this, like the experience you will have with a local roaster or with us, uh, with a coffee from the supermarket. Actually, a coworker he ordered me a bag, and next day he says, I have never had coffee like that before. I opened the bag and the aroma was all in my house. This is like, yeah, I roasted yesterday. That's why.
Don't
That's
don't drink it yet. Don't drink it. Just wait.
exactly. No, he didn't care. He drank it. Uh, and I told him, give it at least 24 hours, or so. And he didn't care. He just, started drinking and he fell in love. Like, wow, I cannot believe how different it tasted. That's what happens when you have good coffee fresh.
Sometimes I'll get a bag in the mail that's got maybe it degassed pretty good while it was sitting in the
Yeah,
mailbox.
you open
And
the mailbox and you get that
the
boom in your,
yeah,
oh,
the
amazing.
whole like 5 steps from the mailbox, I can smell it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Every time I drop a box in the or a bag in the post office, whenever the person, oh my God, this is coffee having here, right? Yeah.
you should take samples with you and just hand it out to
Yeah,
them.
like, hey, there you go.
Here you go. Here you go. Tell your friends it's great coffee.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, because that right there is just, I've been through some farmers markets here in the last couple weeks after they've opened up, and maybe it's because it's the environment now. Maybe it's because it didn't seem like the folks were engaging as much as they used to on trying to
Mhm.
sell their craft, and that's maybe because everybody's walking around,
Yeah.
with a mask. I don't know. Excuse me, I feel bad that I can't walk around and smile at people. I'm a happy guy. You run
Oh
into
yeah.
somebody at the
Me
supermarket.
too. I say hi to everybody.
Yeah,
Good morning to everybody.
yeah. So when you're looking to more expand locally, then
Yeah.
try to get out there even
Yeah.
more. So once they open up, you're going to be hitting farmers markets. You're going to be looking for more supermarkets to go
Yeah.
into.
It has been really hard to get into farmers market, at least here. I don't know some other states or somewhere else, but here it seems like the farmers market they only have like one coffee vendor, and that's it. I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense to me because you have like 20 farmers that are selling melons or whatever, and like just one coffee that doesn't make sense. But that's how it is.
It is what it is. And you got on the news a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I guess it was. You had your little local spot on your local town
Yeah,
board,
the
right?
the news. It's a local paper, city paper. Yeah, and they did like a video. They interviewed me and all that. And yeah, it's been that's another thing I want to implement and at least trying to in a way of saying thank you to firefighters and cops, soldiers, because coffee unites, right? Coffee brings together people, and everybody starts, telling stories, and it's just a great experience. So I was thinking, and it's interesting because I have heard this before from other business owners that they want to give back to the community, and now I get it. Now I understand. I have something here that people enjoy, people love. Let me give back, just for the sake of helping people.
Roasters Marketplace is a platinum sponsor of our local PTO.
Yeah,
So
nice.
we're on the PTO. It helps when your beautiful wife is I don't know what her exact position on the PTO is, but she's like, oh, by the way, you're sponsoring the PTO. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
that's great. We'll do it. But no, you're right. Engaging with local, firefighters, teachers, that's always a good way of getting extra face time and helping out people that might not be able that might not be getting the freshest coffee and would definitely appreciate it. One
Yeah.
of the other things you can do, and this is kind of goes back into what we're doing here tonight, is find small business podcasts, find people with shows like I do on the internet, because now what happens is after we get done here, I go and I fill out my description when I post the podcast, and I put a link back to your website. And now what happens is those magic of
Yeah.
SEO and magic
Yeah.
of link backs. Now Apple is linking back your website. Now Spotify is linking back your website. All those things are now linking back to your website, and Google sees that. Other search engines sees that whenever you've
Yeah.
got those link backs going in. So a really good, and I'll tell this to the roasters that are listening out there, a really good way of getting more link backs to your website is coming on shows like this.
Yeah.
If you're one of my roasters, you're welcome to come on. If you're not one of my roasters, you're welcome to come on the show. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about coffee, and it's kind of a universal language and getting to the people that love specialty coffee. So that's one thing you can do as any small business owner is get in the media and ensure that they put a link back to your website, because it's
Yeah.
really, really so important, especially now with all the e-commerce trade that's going on. So enough about that. Tell me what the next coffee is. Have you started scouting it out yet?
No, I have been playing with this one I'm offering right now. Um, but I don't know what's gonna be next, man. So you have to stay tuned. Who knows? Maybe in Ethiopia, which those are amazing. Uh, who knows? Let's see what brings the future brings.
So how do you typically go about that? You'll order 5 or 6 samples and you'll roast them up and
Yeah,
play with them.
yeah. I basically yeah, that's what I do. I put in my mind, okay, what do you want to offer? You want to offer a South American, or I want to go after a fruity coffee like Ethiopian or something like that. And then I start looking, okay, what flavor notes I wanna get, after blueberry or flower notes or whatever. And then I order my samples. I sample to see, check quality, no uh, defects, right? Flavor defects and all that. And then I choose one, and that's the one I get.
With your roaster with the Bullet,
Hmm.
when you order samples, how much are you ordering, and how often? How much does it usually take you to profile something out?
Well, profiling for me is not. It's been quite easy, I have to say, because I go after time, and that's how I learn how to roast. So if I roast, so by looking, if I see, okay, I'm about a city plus, I cut that coffee, and I know what I can get if I take it 30 seconds after, or whatever, So I basically take 300 grams. I roast that. I take some samples with the dryer so I can see where it's falling, and the flavors where they are at what time, and then I adjust the end temperature to hit that roast level I want, at least flavor wise, and and then I start going like, okay, this is gonna be my when I get the whole coffee, it's gonna be my light, or this is gonna be my medium and my dark, you know.
So you have your three roast levels determined for that, or kind of a general ballpark before you get the coffee.
It's kind of a ballpark, but each coffee, of course, coffee is different. So I do it differently for each coffee. Like the Papua New Guinea and the Colombian, they're so different. They roast so different. This Colombian is really dense, so I had to adjust my temperature and time. The Papua New Guinea was less dense, so I could put more time into it, so I can develop, more notes that I wanted. And but yeah, I have kind of an idea, and then I go from there.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I change the profile, I cut. Change the profile, cut. That's how it is.
Now, here's one question, because I've actually had one of my friends who was in Colorado
Yeah,
ask me about elevation. How does elevation affect your roasting there? How high are y'all?
I'm 5,000,
Okay.
but I don't know because I learned to roast here, so I cannot tell you, hey, it's gonna affect it this way or that way. Uh, that's why I try to hit the same times. Even sometimes that means lower my temperature or rise it, or lower my airflow, or make it a little bit, faster. So that's why I focus, and as long as you hit those times, you will be fine. I mean, at least the profile you want is gonna be there.
Awesome. Hey, I can't wait to share this on a couple of the bullet groups on Facebook. I really appreciate
Yeah.
you coming on
Hmm.
tonight and talking about that. If somebody's listening down the road, where can they find you at to get in touch with you?
Well, they can go to liamandiancoffee.com. Same with my Instagram and my Facebook. Yeah, and also, of course, Roasters Marketplace, which I will never stop saying this. I love this project. I love what you're doing. It's amazing how many. The cool thing about a small roaster is that they put all their love, all of their focus on what they're doing. They're people that they live for this. That's what they want to do. So they put all their uh, uh, all that they know in that to that coffee. What you're gonna get on the other side is gonna be great. So yeah, and when I saw your your, your Instagram, I just read. I fell in love with it. Like, oh my god, this is great. This is perfect.
It's a fun project.
Yeah.
It's a really fun project that hopefully one day I hope for it to be a very successful business instead of a
It
very
will.
very expensive hobby. but it's
It,
tasty, and I make awesome friends, and
yeah,
I now, since I've we broke 1,000 downloads on the show. I'm a podcast star. I'm an
nice,
official podcaster now, I guess. I don't
nice.
know.
That's
I
good.
don't know. But don't go anywhere. I'm going to hit you up in the green room. Thanks again for showing
Okay.
up. Thanks for
Yeah.
getting
Thank
on the
you. Bye,
show.
people. Bye.
Appreciate it. I'll hit you up in just a minute.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight or today or down the road when you're listening. We really appreciate it. I was worried that the laptop was going to kill me tonight. We had some issues and technical difficulties starting out, but great interview with my buddy Will from Lemony and Coffee Roasters. Had a lot of fun talking to him. We really appreciate y'all listening. Give us a shout out on Apple. Give us a shout out on iTunes or on Spotify. Let us know how you like the show. Leave us some comments. Subscribe. We really appreciate it. Go to our show sponsor, Roasters Marketplace. If you use the code FALL2020, I believe right now you can get free shipping on any order. We've got tons and tons of coffee over there for sale. We're going to roll out with a little Dom Coors, and thanks for listening.